4 mark, that is 80 words, 60 to 80 words. 4 mark question. Now you are not having 4 mark question. 4 mark question is passage based. Okay. So earlier 4 mark questions used to be there. So that time you was supposed to write like that. Are you listening, Shivam? Keep it aside. Then 5 mark question, 120 words they are telling, but 5 points and 5 points to be explained. Understood? So many of you are writing very timid. Sit. So when you are writing, that is the points explanation, and next point like that 5 main points to be there. If you are not writing based on that points which you have written accordingly, you will get mark. That may be the reason. You may be knowing the answer, but you did not write that. So my next exam you have to. Why others are not coming? All are happy.
My school is having exams. Right place and
Say you are so many days he is absent. Shivam also absent. Shivanki. Irregular for long. I don't know why. Regularity percentage is more.
Class percentage. And test percentage.
Just I think.
Last one.
You did not write any test. You used to write, yeah. Attendance maybe. This one irregularity means attendance.
But now, because of exams, I missed 2 certificates.
I think that.
I don't know, yesterday also my father got a call that out of 6 tests, I wrote only 1 SST test, but I wrote it. I only missed like 2 or 3 because of
you are having that mark, you are having the papers, with that you show, because I know that people are writing. You just the same because it is given your number is percentage is very high. That is irregularity. And it is not at all shown your mark also.
Complete.
Yours,
Complete.
but mark is not.
One year.
Mark is
Where is your marks?
okay. Others are not coming. You are there and where is that? Right. Last week also she did not come.
she got the papers also. But she's absent.
Class. She attended or not last week?
She attended.
Arsh is not coming. This school is.
Ramshid.
No. You have to improve. This way.
But till now, I think I almost like 3 Sundays.
3 Sundays means some Sundays no. 2 papers are there. Because whatever we have completed all the tests over. So whatever we just try to write or whatever papers you are having, just file and keep and see that which test you need. You also. Shivam, you just go back. No, go back. No. No. Yes, Avanti and Armeya.
Ma'am, I know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you writing the test or not?
Ma'am, my exam got over on Monday just.
No, here no, but so many tests over, no?
Ah,
So means we want to see that how you are performing.
yeah,
How you,
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, I'm giving.
Hindi also.
Yes, ma'am. I wrote 2 tests.
Because no, whatever questions are over, then we used to complete the test. So that is why you have to show that this all are the practice. Hmm? And sometimes why you are getting less mark and all. Why you are getting less mark and all, you have to clear it. Where you are losing, why that mark is losing.
Ma'am, परसों exam है.
Which lesson?
मैम तेरा हमारा हो गया मैम. Price of national से हो गया और national.
Here
इंडिया का चुनाव हमारा बाकी है. हाँ मैम price of national से इंडिया का ये करना है.
I did not take your that portion, rise of nationalism in India.
Some part was left last.
That only I have to complete. That last week I did not take. I was just going with that political parties. So how much is over?
Ma'am कौन?
Of nationalism.
Take some.
We have done till how participants saw the movement. After that,
Acha, civil disobedience.
the salt pattern incident.
This.
We have to start with salt.
Okay. So just let us recall the things which you have learned previously. We have means in your history that the nationalism in India. You have studied previously that non-cooperation movement and why the non-cooperation movement was withdrawn. Can you tell the reason why it was withdrawn?
It was too much violence.
See, do you remember that incident at Chaudhry Chowra? So, Gandhiji told that the movement should be non-violent. And this peaceful protest was attacked by the police and people turned violent and attacked the police station, killing 22 policemen. So, when it turned violent, Gandhiji decided to withdraw. That was one of the reasons. It was not the only reason. There were some other reasons that one reason is that Gandhiji wanted to make it a mass movement, making the people train for that. Say, have you seen any marches or rallies?
Yes.
So when you observe the rally, you can see the people going. So sometimes in front, some banners used to be there, and behind that, people used to go. So the last person, if you ask them, what is this rally for? They will not be knowing. Because these people were added to that rally, they are not aware of. Same was the condition that when this movement was there, people were not prepared for a mass agitation. So Gandhiji wanted to make them make them trained for the mass movement. So one reason we have seen people turned violent, so they Gandhiji withdrawn. That incident you have to remember, and it is coming for math question also. Map I will take later on, that is all that history map below. Okay, only from this lesson, 8 topics are there and the 8 first, okay. So 2 mark map is coming. But all I will take. So for Chauri Chaura is important because that from that incident only Gandhiji withdrew. So one reason you learned, second reason also I have told you, Gandhiji wanted to train them and prepare them for a mass. Now he did not keep quiet after 1922. After the withdrawal, he did not keep quiet. He was organizing silently that movement. At the same time, there were so many other events happened from 1922 to 1930 only civil disobedience movement. So this period, so many movements were there. One was that Motilal Nehru and C.R. Das formed the Swaraj Party and they contested the elections. So that is what another event. Then 2 other movements which shaped that international level was that Great Depression. Do you remember that Great Depression? Secondly, that Simon Commission. Why did Simon Commission came to India?
Because one to make the government Simon
Commission was appointed to study about the constitutional changes in the next act. Okay. But in that commission, all the members were British. No Indian member was there.
when they were saying that we will give you right in democracy some part, but not we will do. So that why that seats in democracy. Democracy. Yeah.
See, actually, that is in that commission there were no Indians. All the 7 members were from Britain. And secondly, in the aim of that commission, was it mentioned about Swaraj or independence? They came to study about the constitutional development. So that is why Indians decided to boycott it. In 1928, the Simon Commission was boycotted. Next year, another important development had taken place, that was the Lahore session of the Congress. Studied about the Lahore session. Why Lahore session of the Congress is important? Okay. Yes, Sarmaya, any idea about the Lahore session?
Lahore session basically the Muslim all the leaders went and met.
No. Lahore session of the Congress. What was that? The first time Indians demanded for Purna Swaraj. One is that Purna Swaraj or complete independence.
It was led by Jawaharlal Nehru.
Jawaharlal Nehru was the president of that Lahore session. Second decision was that to celebrate Independence Day and take Independence Day pledges on 26th January 1930. Okay, from that day onwards, we were celebrating Independence Day. And the third is to launch a civil disobedience movement. Okay, these are the 3 decisions you write down and keep. You should not forget about this. One is demand for Purna Swaraj or complete independence. Have you written?
Yes.
Second is that the Independence Day, 26th January 1930. So Independence Day pledges were taken a lot. And the third one was that a civil disobedience movement will be launched. And suppose that only 1930 onwards, you remember the Dandi March with the short march, civil disobedience movement was started. Why? Gandhiji started the civil disobedience movement with the salt march.
And because salt was very common, it is used in every spice, and not it is not all the foreigners and Britishers which were ruling, and they raised the taxes on the salts because of the high demand of the salt. So many poor people were not able to afford it. So because of that, Gandhiji started this country march.
Okay.
It was also illegal to make salt.
Since salt is used by every person, rich and poor, upper and lower class, everyone. So Gandhiji thought that if we take this topic, everyone can be included in that movement. Salt was consumed by everyone. We know that salt naturally at that time there were not much salt factories. Natural evaporation, the salt used to be prepared. But British made it their monopoly to make salt, and nobody was allowed to make it. And British used to sell it, and we have to pay price for it. So Gandhiji thought that we will start this movement with the salt satyagraha. Now, when did he start that Dandi March?
In
12th March 1930, he started from Sabarmati Ashram with the 78 associates. That is his ashram members. So he started from Sabarmati to Dandi sea coast. Okay. It was 240 miles and reached on 6th April 1930. So every day, that is this take 24 days. Every day he traveled 10 miles and wherever he reached, public gathered and he used to address the public.
Many people joined in this event.
So when was that salt satyagraha ended? 6th April 1930. Got it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now he started this movement, and the people who participated in the movement with different aims. See, if you are unhappy with something, you take it for the fighting against the authorities. So now the target is British, and whatever their dissatisfaction they showed through that. So Gandhiji told us civil disobedience means we are also participating. That is what. Now how different sections participated? Who are the first group given? Rich persons. Okay. Who are the rich persons? Two groups are mentioned. One is Patidas of Gujarat and the Jats of UP, Uttar Pradesh. Okay, they were the rich persons. Now, what was the dissatisfaction of this group?
their cash income disappeared as they found it impossible to pay the government's revenue.
Why their cash income? Before that, something is the
They were very hard hit by the Great Depression and politics.
okay. So these people were affected by Great Depression. Do you remember when was the Great Depression started?
There are 2008 was also one.
That so we are talking about Indian National Movement Act, 1930. We are talking. So this Great Depression started in 1929. Okay.
Okay.
So you last year, I think that Hitler, Nazism and Hitler, that lesson Great Depression you have studied. Okay. So the how Indians, we are not going deep into that lesson. So I cannot reach that level. So 1929, this kind of depression started in different areas. So if you look at that cause of this depression, the main cause was overproduction. How overproduction can cause depression?
Overproduction can, the prices will become more cheap.
So,
Prices.
overproduction.
Tell.
So if there is overproduction and there is less consumption, so there will be a lot of loss of value. So
Yes.
There will
Ah.
be more stock than the demand.
See, at that time, in European countries, after the First World War, the capitalist countries began to increase their production. During the wartime, they were purchasing from the countries like America. America was not involved in the earlier stage of the First World War. So they were purchasing it. Once the war got over, these countries started producing. So when they start producing, at the same time, they have to continue to purchase also. Understood? Wartime, they were purchasing. From which all countries they were purchasing, they had to purchase. And here in their own countries, they increase the production. Capitalist countries, there is one problem. Government will not interfere in that fixing of that prices or anything. The capitalists think about making maximum profit. In economics, you have studied capitalist countries. What is their aim? To make a profit. So, if the price is low, they will not sell it. So the things started piling up. Now, what happened to India? Indian farmers also produced because during the war time, their products were having demands. Now, they were producing, but the European countries, when they were having the things, they were not purchasing it. So, prices become low, and these were hard hit by this condition. Things were not sold. Now they have invested, and these things were not purchasing. That time India was not independent. If it was independent, the government would have taken some policies. But the British government did not take any policies. So now when their incomes reduced, they were affected badly by the depression, economic depression I'm talking. So they were unhappy with the condition. Then what is the second reason?
And the refusal of the government to reduce the revenue demand led to widespread disaster.
Next reason is that the government was not ready to reduce the revenue demand. See, here they were not able to pay. Do you know that when this thing COVID started and everywhere lockdown and all, so much problems were there. The people were not having jobs and all. The salary and incomes were not there. So the people were not able to pay the fees of the students. Parents were not able to. So the government issued an order that is, you just not to make much demand now. Slowly, slowly you stand for it. So this is what the government will take in times of crisis. But capitalist countries, they never take such decisions. So this Patidas of Gujarat and the Jats of UP, Uttar Pradesh, were affected by that. That is, due to depression, their cash incomes reduced. Government was not ready to reduce the revenue. Understood? That is how and why they participated. Any more point is there?
It's just the role that they join the spirits of Indians to organize themselves.
So they organized their own people to participate in the civil disobedience. Now, who are the next group? Poor persons. You just imagine here the rich persons and the poor persons were on completely opposite. Poor persons, they don't have their own land. They don't have any other source of income. They work on that rich persons. So rich persons themselves were demanding the revenue reduction. Now this poor had to pay to the rich because they have taken land on rent and cultivating. So they participated in the movement in a thought that if they participate in the civil disobedience movement, there will be cut down of that rent. That is why they participated. But Congress did not pay any attention to that because they were supporting that rich persons, because rich and poor are two dimensions. So when they were supporting the rich persons, they could not support the poor persons. Their demands were not fulfilled. Got the reason and why they participated? Now, I think the third one was the participation of industrialists and business. Okay. So 3 points are there why they participated. You underline that points. Why that rich industrialists and what is that businessmen participated. What were the points? The first one. Read it. Industrialists are making profits. Say during the first World War, I have told you the reason. European countries were engaged in that war, and that was a good opportunity for that Indian traders, businessmen to sell their produce because they were not involved in that production. They made huge profits. Once the war got over, they have restarted, and the condition of the businessmen and industrialists were affected. That is one. Next, second.
Keep on expanding the business in our reacted on export
So I have told you that one. Next.
Protection against imports of foreign goods and
Second point is that they want a protection on imports of foreign goods. If that foreign goods are coming, their industries cannot get any production. You just think about the same products. One example you take. I am giving one example of mobile phones. Okay. So many varieties of mobile phones are in the market. These are that international companies, world companies. Now there are mobiles of Indian companies also. How many people purchase that Indian brand? That is old. Because that brand may be having quality. Compared to these international brands, they may be very good, excellent. And they are getting service stations for repairing also. But people are after that foreign brands. iPhone or there is so many brand names are there. So people when they are after that, this Indian products are not having demand. This is the present condition I am talking. So that time, if that foreign companies products are coming in Indian market, there will not be any demand for Indian goods. That is what the second reason. Now third, rupee sterling ratio. What was that? At that time, British currency was pound sterling. Have you heard about that? Pound sterling.
Yeah.
This is what the symbol, pound sterling. That British currency. Now there should be a ratio with that Indian rupee and pound sterling. That is what the third demand. Understood the third point? Why Indian industrialists and what was that businessmen participated? These are the three demands or three problems like this. Now, there were so many powerful businessmen. Which were they? Purushottam Das, Thakur Das, then G.D. Birla. Then the names. Purushottam Das, Thakur Das is the J.D. Birla is the. So what they did, they organized two organizations, that are trade industrial organizations. Which are they? One is FICCI. What is FICCI? Full form? This is in 1928, I think so. Chamber of Commerce. Okay. You will have to remember. I am just trying. Which year? 1928, no? Correct, no? 1927. 27. Now, another organization was Chamber of Indian Industrialists. Indian Industrial and Commercial Complex. 1920. Indian Industrial and Commercial Complex. With this two you have to remember which were the organization founded by industrialists and businessmen. One is that Indian Industrial and Commercial Congress set up in 1920 and FICCI, Federation of Indian Commerce and Chamber of Commerce and Industry in 1927. They were very actively participating because they want to increase and expand their trade and they want to make a profit what they had achieved during the First World War time. And third one is rupee sterling ratio and to reduce imports. So they actively participated in this movement. You have to understand one thing. What were the methods they used? Boycott of foreign goods. Then there will be some stoppage or closing of the shops. Whenever there is protest, there is closing of the shops. When the shops are closed, how it will be affected? How many of you are having any shops or other establishments?
Yes.
Eh? Rent पे दिया. So if your shop is the rent पे दिया. So when you are having a shop, you will understand that if people are not coming and buying the products, they will be affected. And whenever there is protest, what is happening? People used to take a stone and throw that one, shutters and other the damage that things and all. So they have to face huge losses. Shopkeepers always face that losses. Some of them may not have their own shops. They are taking it on rent. They appoint that salesman in their shop. They have to be paid. All these losses they have to meet. Then only they are running their shops. So non-corporate civil disobedience movement, they participated with a thought that once this is successful, they will get all their demands fulfilled. But what happened? Within no time, Gandhiji called off it. In 1931, he called off. Without achieving their demands, 1931 it was called off. Yes, she want to write it. Huh? How much you have written? This is which point you want to write. Around 1931, Gandhiji called off. Why Gandhiji called off that movement? It was too violent, I think. No, this time it was not violent because 1930, British thought to call round table conference. Okay, round table conference, that is by calling all the different sections of the people from India, and it was held in London. Indian National Congress actively participating in the civil disobedience movement. Many of the important leaders, almost 1 lakh leaders were imprisoned. So Indian National Congress decided not to attend that round table conference. The first round table conference was not attended. Others participated. That is, depressed classes, princes, Muslim League, different sections participated. The British asked them what are your needs. They told them this is our need, representation in the legislative council, all those needs. British agreed. But they realized that without the participation of Indian National Congress, they could not succeed, as it was the main organization. So to persuade Indian National Congress to participate in the second roundtable conference, they held a kind of agreement, a kind of pact between Gandhiji and Lord Irwin. This is known as Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Gandhi-Irwin Pact was made to persuade Indian National Congress to participate in the second roundtable conference. What were the conditions of Gandhi-Irwin Pact? Can you tell? One, British told Gandhiji to stop the civil disobedience movement. Gandhiji asked to release the prisoners. That means in civil disobedience movement, whoever participated, imprisoned have to be released. Third condition was that Indian National Congress to participate in the second round. There were three conditions. Yes, you just read it. This part, Gandhi Irwin Pact. It's there. It is the 1931. See, it is afterwards, okay? Right. So what should we do? Page number 45. Okay. Mahatma Gandhi once again decided to follow. Before that, it is written. Mahatma Gandhi himself was arrested in such a situation, Mahatma Gandhi once again decided to call off the movement and entered into a pact with Irving on 5th March 1931. By this Gandhi-Irving Pact, Gandhiji consented to participate in the second roundtable conference. Congress had boycotted the first roundtable conference in London, and the government agreed to release the political prisoners. These are points you have to underline. One is Gandhiji consented to participate in the second roundtable conference. Next, government agreed to release the political prisoners. Have you underlined? Eh? Given now. Page. Then after that, Gandhiji attended the second roundtable conference, but nothing happened in that roundtable conference because the British were giving all the demands of other groups except the Indian National Congress demands. Muslim League's demand were given, granted. The depressed classes demands were granted. Industrialists, they also grant some demands. Then another groups, different groups demands were fulfilled. But Gandhiji was unhappy with that second roundtable conference, and he returned back and relaunched it. That time, what happened? The participation of businessmen and industrialists were not that much. Because once they were coming with great momentum, and Gandhiji withdrawn it. Now, second time, the participation was not very active. Got it? Huh? Now, next group was working class, no? Industrial working class. Who were called the industrial working class? In the factories, those who were working industrial workers. Okay. Everywhere the workers were not very active. You know that one side industrial owners, Their fight was against the owners as well as the British. These workers are working under this owners only. So if they made them unhappy, their job also will go. But only to that workshops, that is, which are run by the government, that is, railway workshops are there, shipyards are there. So like that workplaces, the workers participate. Did you get it? See, if I am working in a factory, I am working in his factory. Just imagine. So he is the owner of the factory. If I am fighting against him, he will tell that tomorrow onwards no job. So they were reluctant to participate. But in some areas, that is in Maharashtra, Nagpur and all, such areas, industrial workers participated in the movement because their fight was against the government. Got it? See, I'm not having any this thing. That is why from my memory I am putting one after another. Okay. Otherwise, we will take the textbook. Can you open the KHR textbook? History. History textbook's name. History textbook's name. NCRT है ना? Nationalism in India. Okay. So, great. Limits. So, just so, look here. See, are you able to
No,
see?
ma'am. No, ma'am.
None.
We would be put down the Google here. That you just slide and add.
Now we can see, ma'am.
You can see, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, keep it. See, what is that in Nagpur, industrialists came closer to the industrial. Already we have seen that FICCI and the Indian Industrial and Commercial Congress. These were rich group. They were very closer to the Congress because we know that they were the fund givers for organizing all this. So because of that, the workers stayed away. They were not very active in that movement. Underline these points, okay? But in spite of that, some workers did participate in the civil disobedience movement selectively, adopting some of the ideas of Gandhian program. For example, we know that now also some places this not working. It's a way of protest. Some people used to do that is overworking. So that is also a way of protest. So that
When they have to pay overtime.
overtime sometimes only they are giving. So in protest, so some demands they have placed with the management or that company owner, and they are not ready to hear. So what they used to do, they used to work more time. So if they are protesting against that work time to be reduced, or if they are having Saturday also working, so they want to get off on Saturday. So if the work time is more, so they are protesting in that way, so that the management will come down. Or sometimes they are not doing that work. Strike. So all these are different methods they used. Instead of showing any violence, they are using that Gandhian ideas. Peaceful protest. Okay. Then boycott of foreign goods as part of their movement against low wages and poor working conditions. Underline this point. What was the A? That is low wages and poor working conditions. There were strikes by railway workers in 1930 and dock workers in 1932. What is dock?
Shipyard dog.
Shipyard. Okay. So they have protested in 1932. In 1930, thousands of workers in Chotanagpur tin miners or tin mines wore Gandhi caps and participated in protest rallies and boycott campaigns. Okay, Chotanagpur, have you heard about in geography? You have. Chotanagpur are that is the center of minerals. So much iron ore and all. So that area, tin mine workers protested. But the Congress were reluctant to include workers' demands as part of its program of struggle. It felt that this would alienate industrialists and divide the anti-imperial forces. So because of that, their fight was not very, or participation was not very active. Got it. Next week we will continue.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
Then you end it.